Secondly, it says lifting up these holy hands. And secondly, young men should see their fathers as men of purity. They should see their fathers as having holy hands, not hands constantly stained with sin and with things that would dishonor or embarrass or cause disparagement to the name of God. Young men should see their fathers as men of purity. And when their hands and their lives and their secrets are exposed, all that shows should be holy hands and cleansed hands and hands that are kept pure by a spirit-filled walk. So, men of prayer, men of purity. He continues, he said, without wrath. By the way, this is one of the best parenting verses I know of, because God says, if you want to be a Christian dad, if you want to be a godly dad, you ought to be a man of prayer, because apart from me, you can do nothing. You can have the greatest degree in all the books and know all the system and the right lingo and practice it, and if you don't pray, it amounts to nothing. So you have to be men of prayer. You have to be men of purity, because if I regard iniquity in my heart, the Lord won't even hear those prayers. So men of purity. But then, look at this. Without wrath. Young men should see their fathers as men of patience. They are not thinking that they have got to get immediate conformity on the spot right now or anything else in life. You know, this characterizes men. Wrath. It's part of, I guess, the protective. You know, we have to be the provider. I remember one night, Bonnie and I were sleeping in the car with our children in the top of the Sierra Nevada mountains. Actually, we were in the Redwoods, and it was in the 80s sometime when those huge California fires were coming, and we were on the lookout point overlooking, you know, one of the old groves, and there was a forest fire. Everyone knew there was a forest fire. For months it had been burning, but it kind of taken off, and the air was full of smoke, and my car died at the observation site just at sundown, and everybody left because the forest fire was coming and left us there. And what they had warned us coming into the Sequoia Park was, watch out for the bears. They're being driven from the forest by the forest fire. Well, being the mighty protector, I opened the trunk and got the tire iron. And I slept in the car all night long with a tire iron like this. And I gave Bonnie the hammer we used to put the stakes in. It was one of those little rubber mallets, you know. And so she slept on her side of the car with her rubber mallet, and little Johnny and Estelle were in their car seats with their pacifiers, not even knowing that all around us were forest fires, but that's the protective nature, the tire iron. So that tire iron personality, though, sometimes spills over into wrath. And what he says is, you should be known as a man of patience, and the fruit of the Spirit should be causing long-suffering patience that's growing and taking over your responses to people outside your car and people inside your car of your life. Outside your house and people inside your house. Are you a man of patience? And finally, it says, without doubting, young men should see their fathers as men of faith, believing God's word enough to live it. We have a choice to be like Eli or like Zadok. And Eli was a priest who let his kids go into gross licentiousness, and Zadok didn't. What kind of a priest? Do you believe God enough to obey him? So are we men of prayer and purity and patience and faith?